I know we veered off a little. For our listeners who probably, I don't know, some people will be aware. I think now people are more aware, like, before Instagram and blowing up and that.
Yes,
like, the circuit, comedy clubs, Sunday show, people from Alchemy, that's what we know you from.
Yeah, of course.
Massive transition. You've obviously gone on social media, created a whole wave of different personas and the skits, and then we was mentioning earlier, a couple of cans tour. How was that for you? Like I said, we had to sit down before that really popped off. How was that going from obviously getting a following up, getting more recognised, getting more known, to now actually bringing these characters to life on the show?
Yeah, I think, do you know what it was for me? Especially, like, the videos for me happened by accident.
Yeah.
It wasn't something, I used to be quite anti with the videos. I was like, it's not real comedy though, is it? Because real comedy is on the stage. I was trying to be that purist, innit? But at the same time, like, I was kind of, like, I was on social media anyway, and I was watching this stuff. Right. So I was like, well, I can't be that much of a purist because I find some of this stuff funny. So for me, it happened by accident with one of the videos. So the first video was like different types of MCs. So that was like where I'd put it out. It kind of went viral. It went viral on GRM Daily's Facebook. It got like 1 million views.
Crazy.
So I was like, raw, 1 million people. But I weren't tagged in it. So I was like, well, how can I get the traction back to myself? I was always on the ball at those things. I wasn't just raw, like, it's like raw.
My face is out there. Yeah. You'll do all the work.
I was
for
like,
me.
I remember messaging them like, guys, can you tag me in the video? Because like, and then that's when it led to me putting my actual name on the top of the videos, because people was like, I don't know who this guy is, and they're all sharing it, but I'm not getting none of that. The traction is coming back to me, it's going out there. So I was always on the ball at those things. But once I got the audience, it allowed me to try things I couldn't do on stage in a video. Because to this day, I find videos so easy to do, bro.
Yeah.
Because stand up is harder because I'm looking for the punchline. How far can I take the joke? What about a comeback with the joke?
Right.
How do I get into the joke? How do I transition? Whereas doing a video, I can do something before. I can give you a scene before it's even started because you've already know the context. So if it's like Cavani's nan in the pound shop cussing someone, you already watch what's going on. Oh, okay, cool. She's talking to someone, because I've got the level of editing that helps me out and stuff that can assist me. So when the video started popping, I started getting the traction. So that for me, I was gonna go through 2 ways. I was like, do I carry on the videos? Because the geezer video was the video where I'd be in the street and be like, oh, people say you're the couple of cans guy, innit? And I was like, yeah, but my name's Mo, like, if that makes sense. Because I'm like, I'm not this couple of cans, I'm not this gimmick as such, innit? And there was other characters I was trying to push as well, but I was like gonna make like a kind of a web series because I was inspired by like what RS done with a documentary. Cool. So I was gonna do like a geezer version of that, a little bit different. I actually filmed something in one pub in Peckham. You know where the what's it called, the snooker hall? Yeah, I think Canavans.
I know you're talking about.
Across the road from there's a little pub. So I actually filmed it in there. They were just like, yeah, do whatever you want, man. Like, had no idea. So my friend's got a camera and it was gonna be like a bit like Peep Show. Okay. So I'm talking to someone. I would do the voice, and then he's gonna follow me around, and then like, so I think how it was is that the geezer, and then there's this guy who's trying to write a documentary on him. So it's like, so what's it like? So he's like, look, first of all, if I'll do this document, I'll show you around. So this point of view is you, but it's this guy who's just like, so like, where are we going now? Oh, we're gonna have a pub, mate. Calm down, I'll tell you about. So I remember like how I kind of wrote it is that the person's point of view is always like I need to write this documentary about you, innit? And I'm just like, yeah, I hear that, mate, but we're gonna have a pint first. And then he goes from having a pint, then he has like a punch up with someone. Then he's like, cool. Then he's like, oh, cool. I'm like, how's it going, man? And then he got like, yeah, it's cool. Like he meets him outside of like jail. Yeah. Then it's like, cool. So are we gonna start the documentary on you? Because I want to document. Because I've done like a backstory of the character. So he used to be like a reggae DJ back in the day, innit? And then what happened? Like he didn't pull up a tune, innit? So he always remembers that, like, I was meant to be like, I'm a big time DJ, bruv. Do you know what I mean? I was meant to pull up this fucking tune. He never pulled it up, and then bare people cussed him. That's the backstory. Okay. No, man, this you, no, man. Then I pull up the truck and that. So he never got booked again, innit? And that was the hope. So I read this whole script, scene 1, scene 2, everything. So I'm ready to film it. And then I was just like, this is great, but this is not, I don't know where I go after this, innit? So that's when I was like, I'm a comic first, innit? Right. And I remember just saying to my manager at the time, because I was with my manager way before any of this kicked off, my manager Polly and Gelly, and I just said, look, I really want to do a tour. I don't know how to do it. Like, what do I do? Because I'm ready to go on Eventbrite and start booking places myself, innit? Like, I don't know how any of this stuff started, innit? So I'm very much like, if I get an idea, let's execute it right now. Let's do it right now. Cool. Monday morning, 9 o'clock. I'm calling up venues. Hi there, my name's this. How much does it cost? I'm not even trying to get mates rates. It costs 5 bills. Cool. I'll go get 5 bills. Hi, this venue. She's like, just calm down in it. Just relax. Like, we'll try and sort out a plan, what you want to do. Then I had a meeting with Live Nation. So that was like, I always say that's one of the meetings that like, you always have these meetings that can kind of change your life. Even if it's like a job interview. Yeah. Where you're like, like, I think I've got that job. If I can get this paycheck, that's going to change my life. Like, you'll never forget it, if that makes sense. So I remember walking into Live Nation, the guy there, Ian, he's like head of comedy. And he was like, look, I've worked with like people with social media before. So just don't know if this is not going to work, but just like, you know, I need to be sure. Because at the end of the day, like, it's a business. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, sweet rappers feel like this guy. Bare sweet rappers, cuz. Fell out your pocket like it was money, bruv. Like it was notes.
I was trying to, like, obviously from earlier in it, I was trying to like keep it in my pocket and that. I pulled out my phone.
Just like that chubby kid in school, boy.
Mo looked at me, I couldn't ignore that. Look at his fat kid. He's stuffing sweet rappers in his pocket, bruv.
Oh, mate.
But yeah, I just...
So you're saying you felt like they didn't... They assume that they looked at just social media. Obviously, we know that you do comedy, so they just seen Instagram, not knowing.
But then I think it was just like I just said to him, look, I kind of knew what I wanted. You know, like I went in a meeting, I said, look, I do stand up in it, stand up comic. So if I want to get like, if we're gonna do a tour, we'll do like Manchester, Birmingham, Cardiff,
Coventry.
But we were looking for places like that, but not too like cool. If it's not Coventry, where's a little bit closer that people can get to? So that's where we like places like Oxford or Cambridge and stuff like that. And then I think we done one in Brighton, for example. So anyone from that Croydon side, they can say, do you know what?
If you're from London, you don't mind. And if you're Brighton, so if you're Southampton or Bournemouth, you might travel to Brighton.
Yeah, so it's very strategic how we booked the dates. And then for London, what we done one in North London. I think it was North, East, South, West was the plan. But we couldn't get one in East London. The venue were just like, like, we don't really have that kind of stuff. So they just weren't feeling it. So I was like, cool. Okay. So the one we done in North London was Camden. South London was Greenwich. And then West London was a place called Under the Bridge in West London, where Stamford Bridge is basically. Okay. Because I knew I had to take my tour to people. They weren't trekking. Like, people will now trek from Essex and come down to like Greenwich. So they will do that now. But back then I knew they weren't going to do that. And then bro, throughout that time I was just like consistently touring, but I was broke. I had no money because before then I left retail, but I was doing my own small shows, innit? So like I was doing a show called Cracking Up Comedy, but because it was selling out every week, I'd make a little change off that. So I was like, right, cool, I got a little change and stuff. But then with the tour, I had to stop doing my own shows because I was like, I need people to go to my tour show. But at that time, I had no money, bruv. I was broke. Like, to the point where, like,
I would have never known.
Like, but the thing is, that's the mad. I realize now when I look at social media, that's that thing where it's like you've got like likes don't pay the bills, innit? Comments and stuff are great, but you can still be struggling. And I remember at that time, like, because I've literally cut off everything. My only income was me doing my own show, because I weren't doing like, yo, blood, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I give man 4 bills, put up this teeth whitening post for me, because I was like, I'm not selling myself that short, bruv. Like, I'm not going to prostitute my social media.
That 4 bills is nice now, but that 4 bills might cost you 40 bags in the long run.
And it fucks up the algorithm as well. Like, you're looking at your
profile. Fucking teeth, bro. I come in for the jokes, bro.
Yeah. The only ones I've done like one which was like, not like teeth whitening, but I would do like I would do a video and then put someone's like event. I only done one of them, which was like this kind of London to Amsterdam type rave. Right. And it was like, like, because I was doing a comedy show anyway. And it was like, cool, like with this video, if we could put our sponsor on it. I think that was the different types of weed smokers or something like that. So I put their kind of sponsor on the video.
That's cool.
And so because that way it was a bit more subtle as such, innit? So I was quite creatively like business planning at that time to be like, cool, we're going to do it like this. Makes sense for that and stuff. Then when because at that time I was mad broke. Mad broke.
This is in the middle of Couple of Cans.
This is when like selling out bare venues, innit? Because what happened, once I started selling out, we putting on more dates, innit? Okay. And the hardest time was because obviously I'm just getting reactions to just funny videos, when now people are buying tickets. So that when people were buying tickets back then, bruv, some people were turning into like, really like nasty people where you're like, guys, tickets are on sale, and then people will be like, this is a fucking joke. sorry, do you can I swear?
Yeah.
Of course you
Oh
can.
yeah, I'm always not too sure. So I was like, it's a joke, man. Been up since 8 o'clock and it's sold out. Because people thought it was fake. I was just putting up sold out to say it was sold out. I was like, bruv, there's only 200 seats. Like, nah, man. Oh, I'm never gonna go and watch you again. Hope your career falls down. I was like, bruv,
Jesus Christ.
because you could get a ticket. and then what we would do, we'd add another date.
Yeah.
And then that guy would say, sorry, man, I was just a bit pissed off. I was up, man. Yeah, I've got tickets now.
But I appreciate that man. I can at least apologize.
Yes.
Accountability,
Most-
innit?
most
Accountability.
people on social media-
Some people do, but like sometimes you'll go through the like. I'll be like, I don't know who this person is. Then I'm
Okay.
like, oh, bro, you was a bit of a dickhead 2 years ago, bruv. Like, because I'll see the chain of DMs.
Okay, you can see that it's not just you. It's
Yeah. And then through that time, like my mental health was awful that time, bruv. Because you know what it was? One, everything was so new to me, but also like, you gotta imagine, like, man just gone from just being me, normal me, to now, like, I can walk down the street and someone will be like, right, like, you're a Comic Cans guy, innit? You're mowing it. Right, big man. And I thought I owed it to people to give them a selfie because I was like, right, like, these people watch the videos, innit?
Yeah.
Like, I must do it. Not that I won't now, but now it's like, if I've got to go somewhere in a rush, I've got to go there. I'm not even trying to be rude. I'm like, brother, if you walk with me, let's quickly get this in it. But right now I'm in a rush. But back then I was like, yeah, cool, I had to do it. Kind of thing. And also like, it's like you'll get recognized in places where you didn't think you would get recognized in. And then everyone else starts looking around. It's like, I remember once we were shopping, I was getting some shoes and some woman, this lovely lady, she goes, oh my God, you're Mo Gilligan, right? I was like, yeah. It's like everyone in the shop all went, oh, what? Because before then they was minding their business.
No, but they knew it was you, but they probably was uncomfortable coming up to ask you. Or so now someone's confirmed that is you for sure. Then they
Or,
go,
yes, yeah.
or sometimes I feel like these people have a generic black lens. Oh, you're just a black guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Until someone
Fair.
until someone
100%.
points it out when
Yes,
they
yeah,
actually
yeah.
get to like identify your features, and you're like,
yeah.
this is someone that I see on TV, or
remember
this is
this-
someone that I see on
This
the
one
billboard.
girl, we was walking through, me and my girlfriend was walking through Covent Garden. This girl just started screaming, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Your missus must be thinking, this raggedy bitch.
Mrs. is thinking that she might have to throw her hands.
Brother. And then I remember there was like some tourists and stuff. And then she was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh my God. I remember she had a bag and she just dropped them on the floor. She goes, oh my God, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Can I have a picture?
Oh my
So I was
God.
like, yeah, sure, man. Like, have a picture. She's like, can I have a video as well? I was like, yeah, we'll do a video. And she's like, oh my God. She couldn't believe it, innit? Bruv, there's bare people like, who is this guy? Who's this guy? And then like, my girlfriend's like, oh, he's like, he does like, stand up. And he goes, oh, okay, cool. And he goes, and then
Well,
this
so your
guy,
missus has to stand there and talk to the passing public.
brother, the maddest thing is, yeah? The maddest thing
He
is,
gets this all the time.
Annotating what's going on.
this guy didn't know who I was, yeah? So she
Okay.
goes, oh, like, he does comedy. And then this guy then goes, oh, yeah, I recognize him now. Yeah. I'm like, but no, you had no
Don't
chance.
beg it, bruv.
You had no
Doesn't that
chance.
make you think though, like when this happens to you, yeah, how it must be for someone at the highest
Bruv.
of heights of fame?
Like, you see what it is, yeah? Like, I've had moments where I was like you have moments where it's creepy as well. Once I was walking down West End, someone messaged me and said, bro, I just seen you walking down West End. They had a picture they was on the bus and it was the back of my coat. And I was like, bro, like, what the fuck? That's so weird. You know, it's just like, cool, like, you see me, like, in West End.
Can I just say, yeah, you don't necessarily have to be famous to be papped, but go off.
No. This is a normal guy, bro.
What he's trying to say is, he's out here as well. He's been packed.
Oh, yeah,
before,
you got papped, yeah? Where do you get papped? Carnival, isn't it? It goes off you.
That's stereotypical.
It goes off you in Carnival, isn't it?
That's stereotypical still, but I'm gonna let that slide.
Yeah.
And then it goes off you.
We'll let that slide.
You podcasting still. You start speaking for no reason, innit? Hey yo, big man, get me a drink. That voice is familiar.
Is that Vance?
I know that voice from somewhere.
Is that the Congolese Casanova? Is that him?
I think I recognise that voice.
That's funny, man. That's funny. Now we'll go off.
Man said, don't worry, like, I've been
Don't
packed
worry.
as well, big man.
You don't need to be.
It's weird. I hear you. When it's weird, it's weird.
No, but I was like, because
I've had some
the
weird
back of my
moments.
coat. What?
Like, the fact that you've gone to the back of the bus and took a picture in the back of me and zoomed in,
Yeah.
I was like, bruv, like, that is so over the top. But like, I think now I don't read my DMs now because one, I can do like something I really put a lot of effort in. Cool, we do like, you know, like a tour show or something. In the same 5 messages, you might get someone that says, that was the best thing I've ever seen.
Dope.
To someone saying, it was good, but that could have been better, or did this joke. Then you get someone saying, yeah, it was fucking shit, but my missus liked it. Then you just get someone else saying,
what's the
hey
point?
blood, you can't DM, you can't reply back to man, bruv. You think you're famous now. So now I'm just like, I would just rather not, because it's like even praise can be bad for you at the same time.
Yeah.
Because that's where people put you on a pedestal and you can believe what they say, innit?
Yeah, yeah.
Where people say, nah, man, you're one of the greatest people of our generation, blood. A man can believe that and then take that in and say,
telling you, who's Dave Chappelle? You're better than him.
Nah, bruv. So that's why now.
And that's the biggest thing that we have to kind of like get into with, you know, the bigger that you've got, how have you been able to handle a high level of criticism?
Oh no, the thing is, for me in my job, I'm always going to get criticism. But it's like, sometimes you can get good constructive criticism where it's like, cool, that can genuinely make me better and I can work better on the craft. But it's like, there's some criticism I get that I'm just bulletproof. Telling me I'm not funny does nothing for me, bro.
Right.
Because it's like, I'm in a profession where I go on stage and make people laugh, and there is someone not laughing, bruv.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if you find this video not funny, that's cool, bruv. I've put it out in a place where you've gone and found it, as opposed to the total difference is like, come to my show, you've bought a ticket, and I can see you're not laughing, you still bought a ticket. Yeah. But it's like, laughter is subjective, so it's different to like, because you got people that say, I don't like Drake, I hate him. But if you're in a club and that tune comes on, you will not just stand there blank faced.
They're the ones singing.
You will be sitting there bubbling with a bit of alcohol.
They know the words.
Yeah.
These niggas be at when they say they're doing this and all that.
When Stay Scheming gets on, when Stay Scheming gets on, and what? Because you don't like him because of what? No, I don't like that. When he had that thing, man, and he was talking about. I'm like, brother, allow that, man. You don't know him. You never met him, bro. Just enjoy yourself, man. Enjoy yourself,
to give you
man.
Reasons why in the club, you know.
Yeah, man. And that's the difference with music. But with comedy, if you tell me in one of my comments, this is not funny. Why do you not think this is funny? I'm like, bro, like, it's subjective, bro. Like, I'm not asking you to like it. Yeah. I'm unbothered.
And I get the distinct impression that you find your stuff hilarious. Because Mo's one of the few comedians I know who laugh at his own jokes. He doesn't care.
Oh, bro, I don't care, bro. I literally don't care. Fam, you see, like, for me, yeah, I'm in a place now where I'm like almost like living my dream, and this is the career I wanted, innit? So this one comment cannot derail me, innit?
Yeah. Of course.
Or like if someone, like, I remember when we done the Netflix show, and people say, yeah, I watched the show, blood, and it was dead. And I'm like, but you sat through and watched it, you didn't like.
If you watch an hour plus of comedy, it wasn't dead.
So for me, yeah, it's like, that's more on you, blood. Because if I watch something and I don't like it, I'm like, you know what, it's not for me. Yeah. I'm gonna switch this off, innit?
Man, I waited until the 55th minute of an hour show to realise that
meaty.
and then critique it, but want to tell me, innit?
Yeah.
Hey, I need to tell you about something. Yeah. I thought that was trash.
Yeah.
Cool. You sat there and watched it, bruv. So that is completely on you. But I think it's definitely important. Like, when I get criticism for, like, you know, sometimes I'll get good, like, constructive criticism. Like, do you know what? Yeah, that's cool, man. Maybe I might try that. Or like, I'll always have a reason why I'm like, cool, well, I thought it was funny for this. Maybe you didn't like it because of that. Yeah. But it's so important for the job that I'm in of comedy, because as well as that, you have to read the room sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Like, as I've got older and a bit more like successful within the career path that I do, there's some things where I'm like, yeah, maybe that's not as funny anymore. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe that I can drop doing that joke. Like,
it's in the African and the Caribbean jokes.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's like,
they're not the anything in 2020.
Yeah, because at the same time, it's like comedy evolves and there's growth in it. Yeah. So I think that's the one thing I love about comedy, is that something that might have been funny 2-3 years ago is like, there's kind of people that don't really like that now. Yeah. But that's good that people have that conversation. That's kind of what I liked about what was happening with Familam and stuff. There was people that was like, I find this funny. Yeah. And people that didn't find it funny. But it was important that people was having that conversation.
Definitely, yeah.
Because as long as I can remember, sometimes that hasn't always happened within the black comedy scene. It's just like, no, but it's funny though. Like, why? How come you're not supporting though, bruv? You got to support.
Yeah, you can't support blindly. Obviously, like, I've got natural bias. I've said it on here before. My peoples are on there, but why I like Famlam was that when they got it right, it was on the nose, it was on the edge, and I like edgy comedy. So, and I can understand why people had a certain distaste for certain things, like the blitz that went viral and hit Jamaican Twitter and like their politician stuff. I can understand that. Yeah. But the stuff that worked, it worked. Yeah. And when I saw the people that were complaining about the other bits and they laughed at that, I'm like, you can see where they're going in it.
Yeah.
And so you've got to let them have that space. And at the end of the day, some stuff isn't gonna isn't going to hit, because I think on the old series they've got a, not to digress too much, they've got a sketch about All Lives Matter sketch on the slave ship, innit? And when you actually go watch it back now and what's happening currently right now, that sketch is on the nose. It's perfect for right now, innit? But at the time, some people just didn't get it.
Yeah. And that's the thing about like comedy, which I think like may take you to the next level when you get things on the money. Because it's all well and good being funny, but then when you make it instantly relatable to like what's actually currently happening, like and people get it, that's just like, oh, this is a talent in itself. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because there's one thing about making people laugh. Yes, cool, you do that, but once it's accurate,
if it's culturally relevant, if you've got to post to people from like a political standpoint as well, stuff that like, it's not for everyone, but stuff that like a Chappelle or like a Chris Rock has traditionally been able to do.
That's where I think where the pressure is.
It's like where you can you almost like have a conversation with your crowd. There is like funny where it's just like Michael McIntyre, that's like funny. It's just like every joke they're trying to hit you. The other comedians where you're having a conversation, they're taking you from here to here, and the punch is going to be 5 minutes down the line, but they're good enough to walk you all the way there, innit?
Yeah.
But,
I think that's the beautiful thing that I like about comedy is that I, like for myself, like my comedy is very observant. I talk about things that I see socially, and you know, as I said, I come from that acting background, so I can use my accents and my expressions to make the comedy as such. But the beautiful thing is with comedy, it's a buffet. There's something for everyone. But at the same time, when there's any buffet, not everyone likes quiche. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not going to the Chinese restaurant trying to eat chips. I'm not trying to eat chips there, bruv.
But there's some man that just, bruv, I like these chips that they do here, innit?
Yeah.
So I think that's the really interesting thing that I love about comedy. I think for myself, as I kind of evolve and do, you know, I always say it's quite interesting because the more things you do, you get this higher plateau of like, oh, raw, like my man's doing this and da-da-da. And that, each time you do that, you can disconnect from someone that might have been watching it from the beginning, but you can also get someone that joins at different stages. It's like a train. So, because, you know, you got some people that are like, bruv, I got this train when it first started before no one knew him. Bruv, that man's been on this ride.
But that's like super fan. It's like, I don't know what it was like for you with music. I remember the phase where I was on SoundCloud and I found musicians.
Okay.
And then it's like someone like Party Next Door. I found him, obviously through Drake, but I found him all the weekend on SoundCloud. There was a certain style of music. Then they get bigger for everybody else, and a big album comes out, and you feel like they're over there, they're kind of out of reach, and they're not like your little secret thing that you had before. And I feel like maybe for you that might be part of the same thing. Where like,
of course, man.
Sunday show, you're part of our community, and then it's Instagram, so you get a new crowd. And then from Insta, I remember I think we were having a conversation. You then go on a couple of cans, and I think I was saying to you, how are you going to go about catering to people like myself, but also catering to people that want to see the geezer character on stage? You know. But
at the same time, it's like there's some things that I will still, like for example, I'll still try and do the videos and stuff. TV is different because TV is like, you can be on a late night entertainment show and still be yourself, but you could be fronting a family entertainment show, and you still want to be yourself, but you know that people's kids are watching.
Of course, so and I think got the P's and Q's. But
then what happens? What's always interesting is like when you follow certain artists. Some people get to a certain age where, you know, if you're young, then it's like, you know, if you're 16, it's like, oh, I like this guy, does these videos. Then their mum now watches me on.
So you're not cool
on something. Nah, he's not cool anymore. But then when that guy's like 26, he was like, right, I used to watch my man back in the day, bro. They feel like they've lived that journey with me. And I find that sometimes with music. With some musicians, I was like, I loved them when I was a teenager.
Of course.
Got to my 20s and was like, yeah. Now, when I listen back, I'm like, oh man, this is the sound of my childhood like, now.
Certain man, I love them in like the garage area. I'm not trying to hear the hibbity hop like on garage beats like you're 39 now. I'm not like I'll listen to your classic material, right? But don't try and release new music now. Like,
yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I think there's definitely like a thing with any creative though. It's that kind of evolution you go with where some people would still be like, oh, I've got to keep doing a couple of cans for these people here. But at the same time, it's like as a career, that's only going to get me so far until you then say, I don't like it no more. And I'm like, bro, I'll be making these for you though, bro. And now you just left me. So I need to look at myself of like, well, maybe might want to do this stuff, innit? Kind of thing. You can either come with me or you can just stay in that place. So it's always interesting what some artists or, you know, musicians, comics do, because some people will still cater to that core crowd of like, we just want this. And you can give them that for years. But then when they go, they're gone, innit? It's difficult. And then you're sitting there like, right, like maybe I should have just tried that, you know, like a year ago, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult to please fans.
Yeah,
because like it will get to a point there you may oversaturate yourself in this particular thing that you're doing, and it's like I loved it, but now I, as a consumer, have grown out of that. I want to see you do something else. Can you do something else? Can you reinvent yourself in different stages?
You've been able to do that though, because like I said, Instagram. I feel like because maybe not, but like going to different spaces. So we have the tour, but I don't know how a lot of people view comedy in regards to what they enjoy. If there's still a lot of people that really, really enjoy going to comedy clubs like that, they might like a particular comedian they'll come out for, but like going to clubs may not be their thing. But if you go, remember you said you were meeting people where they're at with regards to the shows. Yes, meeting people where they're at now is Netflix.
Yes,
so you don't have the stand-up special, momentum. You're meeting us where we're at. That's another stage of things.
Yeah. It's a different part of the of your career, because also you got to remember as well, like once you get into this space, then this is your career, and you know when you got mortgage and stuff to pay, it's a totally different conversation now, because you're like, whoa, like I need to work. It became fun at one stage, and all these musicians would say, oh man, it was fun, we were just in the studio, man, till like 3 a.m, man, it was fun, and you can still do that, but at the same time when it's like I need to release an album because I need to pay off this mortgage or XYZ, because then it's just like it becomes your career is also your job as well. So at the same time, it's also this thing where, yes, I love the creative stuff, but at the same time, it's like, that's why for me, the production company, because I was like, I can keep making Couple of Cans videos for the rest of my life, but I want to start making my own TV programs. I want to do a documentary. I want to do a special. How can I do these things? I do them myself, because then I needed a foundation for myself going on later, not just, okay, the videos are cool and he's done this, because what happens, especially with TV, you will just be talent for hire. Yeah, you'll just be a presenter on this show, and you'll bounce around on that one and that one. Then you know, before you know it, you're like, Rod, do you remember Man? What happened to him? It's different though. It's
not flavour of the month anymore, isn't it?
Yeah, and that always happens. That's been a part of business. But for me, that's why it was so important to set up the production company so early, because then I had ownership of stuff. It's different conversations when you're in a room and you like, cool, well, I own part of this, and I own part of that, and I own part of this, and we're making this and we're making that. Because now it sets up my foundations of what I want to do in the future. Yeah. As opposed to just being like, yeah, I see my man on this, you see my man on that and that, but you're just talent for hire. So I think that's why it was so important for me to kind of set up that foundation of like.
I feel like you're really trying to be purposeful and dictate your future, innit?
No, you have to though, man, because I'm in control of my own destiny, innit? Yeah. As opposed to someone else who then says, nah, he's a little bit old now. He's 39. Yeah. Do they still like that stuff, Couple of Cans? Not me. See you later. And that's easily what can happen. But that's why you've got a lot of these like young artists now who are like, yeah, boom, I've got, you know, like record label or a studio or investing in stuff.
They're planning for later.
That's got your like, future sorted, you know?
You know, just going off the back of what you're saying, I follow Reggie Yates on Instagram.
Yes.
And he posted something the other day that kind of resonates, you know, with what you're saying. The caption was like just bits of it. It started off with reset in capital letters, right? And he says, have you ever given so much of yourself to something, then it's over and you're not quite sure what to do with yourself? So I think he started to allude to the fact that growing up, the power of ownership wasn't taught or made familiar. For example, I would fight to be me between the words written by others, push for people, topics or issues that spoke to my world of normality. So with what you're saying is that obviously with your content, you've created that yourself. No one's written that for you. But at the same time, you're going into owning your production company where you now control or dictate the narrative rather than somebody doing it for you, because then you just become someone to hire, as you said. Like, you know, so it's nice to see, you know, people from our background is starting to look at production and
you have to,
you know, doing stuff behind the scenes as well as being in front of the camera, because that's integral to longevity and how you're going to sustain.
The man behind the camera has been the one that's been paid best anyway.
You
know. So you know, I always,
and it helps if you do both.
And I think for me, what I kind of learned about also having a production company is when I was like, for example, especially with like, let's say the latest show, I'm taking ideas that already exist into TV and I'm gonna put these characters here or this format and stuff. These are ideas that I've made, innit? Yeah. This is my intellectual property, bruv. So I can't just go in there blind and sign this stuff off, because if they're like, yeah, cool, we're gonna do a spin-off show, but we're gonna get this person to front it, and I'm like, wait, I swear that's my thing. Can't do nothing. You've signed it away. Jesus. And I think that's the difference, you know. But at the same time, it's also being very, for me, when I kind of got into the space of TV, I always wanted to learn. I asked a lot of questions. Cool. Right. So what does that mean? And cool. So why can't you use that? And how does that work? Because for me, it was really important that I worked with people and not become the person of like, I'm here, I know what I'm doing, we're going to run the show, we don't need you. I think it was really important that I worked with, you know, like the production companies we did and done co-pros, because I could learn from people that have already done it.
Right.
And I think I have to be very careful when I'm talking and saying, you know, get your own production companies. Definitely set up your foundation, but there's no harm in saying, "That cool, we're gonna work with you on 50% of this project," because I still needed to learn how to do the show. They have the expertise. Right. I can't just sit there and say, I've got IP. I have IP. It's my property. You're like, that's cool, innit?
Man are going in there without information, trying to be Dame Dash, bro. You listen. You can't walk before you crawl, innit?
Yeah. So you can't grease man up with no information. No. You'll get laughed at.
I mean, you can, but you suffer in the long run, innit? Like,
yeah.
You know,
it's very, very harmful. That's why, I get so many young people say, I want to pitch something, man, but I don't know how to do it. So shall I do it with you? And I'm like, bro, like, you're at a place now where you have the freedom to create whatever script that you want to do it and how you want to do it. Yeah. The pitching process is the hardest process, because you're trying to sell it, basically, isn't it? It's like going into a room and you're like, cool, I've got this and I'm trying to sell it to you. So they'll say, I don't know, because budgets and we don't know. And that's the hardest process. I went through that process. I met all these different production companies. Hey, Mo, we love you, man. Love the videos. So what do you want to do, man? I'd love to do this type of program. Great, fantastic. Well, we've got this. And I'm like, that's not what I want to do. Yeah. And that is really important of the process, because then you find out what you want to do and what you don't want to do. But at the same time, you can't just go in there and be like, man needs $1 million. Man needs $1 million to do this show. So like, get that check. Because then you're just like, bruv, you're cutting off your nose to despite your face. That's not how you're going to produce your what it is that you want to produce. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's better to take a lower cut, but then have a show that goes on at a better time, because the exposure you'll get is so much greater. Yeah. There's no point taking that $1 million if they put on your sitcom at 2 a.m. and no one's...